Hello everybody, agentpreneurs of ListReports. Welcome to episode 13 of the Daily List Report. Hard to believe we're in week 3. If you didn't watch yesterday, what a great episode. We had Eric Mitchell on from Gold Star Mortgage. He calls it like he sees it. Tremendous episode, our most views ever actually, so you should check that out. Secondly, we actually just as of last night started publishing clips to YouTube. So if you don't have time to watch the 30-minute episode, that's okay. We've got some clips of the best and brightest highlights from all of our guests, and we're starting to push more and more of this to our YouTube page. So if you haven't checked that out, go to YouTube, subscribe, and you're going to be able to see all that content. It's tremendous. Today I'm wearing a special shirt. I'm wearing a Be a Founder shirt. So this was actually a gift from one of our investors couple years ago, and I wore it today because I think it's indicative of the mindset that we're in, that we all need to be in, right? This is why we call you agentpreneurs, right? You are all founders of your businesses, whether you're working on your own or you have a small team or you run a large brokerage, you are a founder. And right now, more than ever, we all need a founder mindset. So I wore this shirt for you. It's a great shirt. Be a founder, have that founder mindset. Today is going to be a tremendous show. Super excited. So for the first time ever, we're going to have 2 guests on, so that's going to be cool. But in addition to that, what we're going to do is we are going to announce to you a brand new product which is going to change the way that you interact with your customers. So stay tuned for that in just a few minutes. So as always, we are going to go to the headlines. I actually just saw some breaking news. Opendoor just announced that they are cutting 600 people from their staff. So I think most of you know that the iBuyers have been on the sidelines these last couple months in their transactions. They just made an announcement. I don't have all the details yet. I just saw the headline pop in that they're cutting 600 of their staff. As always, as when we announced the Redfin piece of this, I know that we all have mixed opinions about iBuyers, but these are still people who've lost their jobs, as 16 million plus Americans have, and we'll find out tomorrow what the new numbers are. So let's approach this from a perspective of empathy. This is a really challenging time that we're all in. So there's a few other headlines that we're tracking. A lot of the regular reports are starting to come out now, sort of a month into this experience. So the first one is that Home Builder Confidence Index has taken its biggest 1-month dive in history. So this is actually the lowest level since June of 2012. And this is basically a sentiment analysis of builder confidence for single family homes. So it plunged 42 points to a reading of 30. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what that meant. But directionally, anything above 50 is considered positive. So the last time we had a negative reading on this was June in 2014, but this is the largest single month drop ever. It dropped 42 points in 1 month. So no surprise there. Builders are losing confidence that there's going to be enough demand for new homes, and so they're starting to retrench a little bit. Second thing, we're starting to get some concrete numbers now. No surprise here either, but retail sales are down. So U.S. retail sales suffered a record drop in March. As a result of these closures. So right now, 90% of Americans are in some form of stay-at-home or shelter-in-place, and this has had a massive impact on the retail market. So retail sales plunged 8.7% in March, and this is actually the largest decline since the government started tracking this back in 1992. They revised the numbers for February. February was down 0.4%, but again, 8.7% in March, and so we'll see what that fallout looks like. The third one, and this one's interesting, and it has some very specific carve-outs, so I want to make sure that I spend maybe a minute on this, is that banks are soon going to be able to postpone some appraisals until 120 days after the mortgage close. Okay, so this was announced. This rule is likely to be in effect through the end of the year. So let me get through the specifics here because this matters. So under the rule change, banks can postpone an appraisal on a residential or commercial property for 120 days after the loan is closed. Okay, but this only applies to banks that are under the oversight of the Fed, the FDIC, or the OCC. Okay, so, and more importantly, this rule only applies to loans that are kept in the bank's portfolio. So loans that are sold or guaranteed by the FHA, by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, by the Department of Veteran Affairs, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, are still going to require an appraisal before closing. Okay, so this is a special carve out under certain circumstances, but it's worth looking at it because that's a massive change. 120 days post-closing, the appraisal can happen. So interesting news just in the housing market, right? So we're a month and change sort of into this experience, depending on which market you're in. We've been now, this is week 6 of our work from home. So we've been sheltered in place for about 6 weeks here in California. So according to Realtor.com, the week of April 12th to the 18th, okay, is historically the best time to list a home for sale, right? Historically the best time to list a home for sale. What's interesting is that during mid-April, right? Views per property are still 11% greater than this time last year. So they're still up. And we're going to talk about in a second a couple markets that we've seen rebound. So the thinking right now is the big question, of course, is how long does this last, right? So according to Realtor.com, they're thinking if this were to last a couple months, then you're likely to see the spring buyers sort of rush into the June and summer timeframe. And why is that always the case? Because the fall is school, right? This is the X factor. So if schools go back into normal session, then parents may end up holding off longer than they normally would. If school for some reason has changed, and I have a number of friends who have basically moved to different locations right now because their kids are doing their school remote. But if schools do not go back into session normally, if there's some change to that, there's a chance that they may actually delay that purchase even further. But if they have to go back to school, we miss this summer time frame because of lockdowns, then that may actually delay buyers into the following year. So we'll keep track of that. The other thing that's interesting is that several of the U.S. markets have seemed to have bottomed out, right? So not including New York City, but some of the earlier markets that were hit. So here's a couple examples. So in Seattle, King County, which is where Seattle is, and Seattle was the first kind of breakout for this. It was one of the first markets hit by this pandemic. Last week, they saw a slight uptick in activity in the form of by the measurement of new listings. So new listings are still down 42% from early March, so it's still way down, but they're up 20% from the week before. And this trend is actually, it looks like it's continuing in some of the surrounding counties. So new listings are up 15 to 30% in Snohomish and Pierce counties. New listings in Portland, which was affected later than Seattle, are still relatively flat. So we're seeing these epicenters sort of start to recover a little bit. The East Bay market, which is the east part of San Francisco, which was also affected early, has seen a 30% uptick in new listings last week. So this is not consistent across all markets. New York City is still way down. They were down another 50% last week. But in some of the areas that are starting to recover, we're seeing an uptick in those listings. So lots of interesting news. We'll get more information on the open door layoffs and try to cover that as soon as possible, either at the end of the show or tomorrow. So coming up this week, we've got 2 more days left in week 3 of the Daily List Report. Tomorrow we have Mark Choey on. Mark Choey is a regular Inman speaker, tremendous guy. We've known him for years. He's also an investor in this company. He was the founder of Climb Real Estate in San Francisco, a wildly successful brokerage. They sold it to Realogy. They built that company during the Great Recession, and he's got a lot of lessons that he learned from that about finding your niche, building your brand. When we talked with Eric Mitchell yesterday, Eric was sort of chiding you all in a sense, right? Saying like, look, if you just go out there and say, I have great service and here's my cell phone number, you can call me day or night. That's what everybody says. And so Mark's approach was very interesting. What Mark said was, he sort of dug down layer by layer until he found his niche. What can I be the best at, right? What can my company be the best at? And they did a great job. So there's some great lessons to learn there. And then Friday we have Mallory Mask, our head of our VP of People, and she's going to give some great tips on work from home. So with that in mind, I am actually going to introduce 2 characters which you should already know well, and we're going to do our first sort of 3-way screen here. So guys, unmute for me. And we've got on screen now Ajay Shah, co-founder and CEO of ListReports. Say hi, Ajay.
Hey.
And we've got Ryan Terrigno, who you remember from last week. And Ryan is our director of product management. And he, along with the team, builds and cranks away on all the delightful products. And he's going to actually take you through something today. So say hi, Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
Fantastic. All right. So we're going to bring Ryan back in just a second. So Ajay, I'm going to start with you. So here's what I want to talk about. What are we announcing today? What's the big deal? What's today all about?
Well, today we're doing something that at least as far as ListReports is concerned is a grand experiment, right? What we're going to be doing and what we're announcing today is that for all of our real estate agent users, we are introducing free video conferencing. And so what this means is that each and every single one of you who has a ListReports account will get your own web video conference room that you can use with up to 4 guests at a time, yourself included, and you'll be able to use that to do any form of video conferencing that you want. We hope that this is going to be a way to really encourage you to engage in this new form of media using video conferencing. So we're super excited about it. We're a little bit nervous about it because we're taking and incurring the full cost of this and bearing the brunt of it, and it's not cheap. I'm going to be honest with you. So, there's some unknowns for us, but
yeah.
We really think that we believe so much that this is so imperative for your businesses to be able to get to become experts at video conferencing that we're going to foot the bill, and hopefully good things will happen from it.
So Age, that's great, right? What a tremendous announcement, right? What a big day. But let me ask you a question. There's Zoom, there's GoToMeeting, there's Google Meet, there's any number of these solutions out there. Why in the world would we roll out a video conferencing solution?
Yeah, I think there's a few reasons for it. Number one, um, the first thing is not all of you are using video conferencing solutions. So we want to make sure that we're also part of the solution here and we're helping you to address that. If you are using video conferencing solution, great. There are some benefits to the one that we're rolling out. First of all, you and your viewers on the other side, the people that you're talking to, neither one has to download an app. So if your clients haven't downloaded Zoom or Google Meets or whatever, they don't have to for our application. You're going to be able to just send them a link out and they're going to be able to connect, right? So I think that's pretty cool about it. Number three, we're building a whole bunch of integrated solutions. They're not available today, but in the near future, they're integrated into the web conferencing experience, because we think that since so much of your activity as a real estate agent is going to happen through these tools, we want to make sure that everything that you need is there. So we're getting the ball rolling early here in terms of video conferencing, but you're going to see that these video conferencing experiences in the near future are going to be very different than the ones that you're experiencing from Zoom and other providers.
Fantastic. Hey Ryan, I brought you back on here because I want to hear from you. Like, what are you excited about here? Why is this such a big day for you?
I mean, it's so exciting in the sense that all of this started happening since the world started changing so rapidly. The List Reports as a company and as a product team just jumped into action, just all in.
Yeah.
And the product team, the design team, the engineers, the sales, customer success, everyone has just been working around the clock to get out new solutions, stay in front of what we see that our agent partners, loan officers are going to be needing as times continue to change. And kind of being at the forefront, getting my hands dirty in all of these new products. We're just concepting, building, and launching has just been so exciting on a personal level, a professional level. And just to know that we as a company, we as a product team are just making such a difference. And it's truly amazing feeling.
It's the shirt, right? Like everybody's acting like a founder, right? During these times, I mean, everybody's acting like they started this company, and it's been tremendous. Quick shout out to Renee. Renee says, "Love the information being shared. Thank you for joining, Renee." Jeff Santo actually asks, will loan officers have access to this? So AJ, why don't you speak to that for just a quick second?
The answer is absolutely yes. So we are working on is going to be delivered to loan officers. We're just working through the legal and compliance pieces. As you may know, sometimes working with mortgage companies and their strict requirements is a little bit fiercer than on the real estate side. So we want to make sure that we have our I's and T's dotted and crossed. And so we're going through that process, but really, really shortly, we're going to release this for loan officers as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So AJ, I want to make sure that everybody understands you touched on this, right? But a little bit more of the vision behind this, right? Like, what we're looking to build here is a tool that is like we always do, right? It's super easy to use. You click, you don't have to install any apps, and like you're good to go and you're ready. But we also want to make it so powerful, right, that an agent can use this for all sorts of things. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, if you think about video conferencing today, all it's doing is delivering you video conferencing, right? But in reality, you don't just video conference. As a real estate agent or a loan officer, you have a series of what we call workflows that you work through. So maybe I'm doing a digital open house. Maybe I'm doing an offers presentation. Maybe I'm doing a listing presentation, right? Any of these types of specific workflows come with specific data, information, and presentations that should be accompanied with video conferencing experience. Because we're taking the video conferencing and we're taking each individual workflow that you need to do your job, and we're going to make all of that information beautifully presentable to consumers in a one-click kind of way, so that it has all of the kind of the ease of use that you're used to with list reports, but now in your direct consultations, your direct pitches and sales, and your direct conferring with your clients, and potentially the bigger ecosystem when you're working with your loan officer partners and your title reps and your TCs and so on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think the message is this is just the beginning, and again, ListReports users, right, agents, you have access to this product today, right? We've seen hundreds of agents already take advantage of this and just find this in the product and get going. So use this today. Share this video, frankly, with your colleagues, right? This is a great tool that we're building and trying to bring to market to make sure that you can do your job easier. And as Eric Mitchell said yesterday, you have to adopt these technologies. Like, the world is changing in fundamental ways. AJ, you and I talked just on Monday, right, about what is going to persist beyond this, and these are transformational changes that are gonna dramatically alter how we do business. So
right.
Go ahead, AJ. Sorry.
Thing that I want to point out. So what you're going to be seeing today, if you go ahead and go to the website and go to ListReports Live and check this out, which Ryan's going to show you, is like the first and most basic version of this. We want you to get in and involved with it so that you can start practicing the process.
Yes.
Of how do I set up a conference? How do I know how to bring someone on? Do I text them? Do I email them? How do I do the process of video conferencing, right? These things have to be figured out. Once we figured it out, we're going to start to bring in new experiences for you. So every week, the video conferencing experience that you're going to be seeing on ListReports is going to be evolving. It's going to look a little bit different. It's going to feel a little bit different, as both we are learning from you and you're learning how to progress your knowledge in terms of how to do video conferencing.
Yeah, that's tremendous. So AJ, sit tight, okay? I'm going to bring you back at the end of this. We're going to put a pretty bow on this whole thing, but I'm going to bring on Ryan right now. So, hey, Ryan, say hi again to everybody, our agentpreneurs.
Hello again.
So I get to let you drive. So Ryan's actually going to take you through this experience right now. He's actually going to show you how this works. You have access to this right now, right? So as soon as you're done listening to this awesome show, log into your account, click the buttons that he's going to show you, and call your friend, right? Like, invite your friend and give this a shot. So Ryan, I'm actually going to let you take over now, and why don't you take him through the product?
Absolutely will. But you know what? We made it so easy for agents to use this product that's only going to take a minute. I just wanted to call out a couple fun facts here that I've just noticed. I've been sitting here watching us all on the screen. One, we're all wearing a black T-shirt today. Did you guys notice that?
We did.
Black T-shirts. We did not coordinate this. And number two,
I'm showing our black shirts right now, Ryan. Look at all of us. We got our black shirts, right? So it's definitely not planned.
And the other thing I've noticed, being in quarantine and working from home, I'm generally wearing a hat, and I'm noticing how tall my hair is getting. I'm going to have to find some kind of shelter-in-place barber to stop by.
You just shave it all off.
Maybe I just let it keep going. Each week, each time you see me on this show, I'm going to have taller hair. All right. That said, let's dive into the product. So hopefully here, can we all see my screen? Are we looking at the ListReports product?
It's looking great, Ryan. You're good to go.
Excellent. So what we're seeing here is our agent homepage. All of our agent users are going to land here right when they log into the product. So the new ListReports Live feature is super easy to access. We've given you two quick ways. One is you're going to see the ListReports Live tab right here, directly underneath this other pretty cool tab called List Packs, but you'll have to watch last week's video for that one. And you'll also see this ListReports Live box right here. Both are going to take you to the same place, and we're going to dive right in. And you're going to see a screen just like this. Join me in my virtual meeting room. So we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. What would you like to share? I'd like to use my virtual meeting room. Great. Do you want to share this with somebody via email? We can copy this caption pretty easily. I already have a email set up, so I'm going to show you how easy that is. Boom. I can invite AJ and Randy to my meeting room right away. They're going to receive that link. All they got to do is click and join. I can copy this link to my meeting room, and I can also paste that anywhere I'd like. I can paste that in an email. I can paste it into a text message. And again, all the recipient has to do is click the link, and they're in my virtual meeting room. I also have this option to send it to anybody via email. And by doing that, we're going to send your recipient a pretty cool templated email, just asking them to join your meeting room. You even have the option to enter in a little personal note. Hey, Ryan, please join my video conference. Click, I'm in the virtual meeting room. And me, as the agent who is hosting this meeting, all I have to do after I've shared this link with whoever I want to join me is click Start Meeting. and I am in this video experience. It's not unlike the one we're using right now that you're watching us on. I have the abilities to turn my camera on, turn audio on and off. There's a chat feature. So you and up to 3 of your colleagues can have any virtual meeting you'd like for any topic you'd like. It's as simple as that. But while you're on this page, you'll also notice this dropdown has another option, and that is schedule a digital open house. We've been talking for a couple of weeks that we are working towards a new and improved digital open house experience that is still in the works, and we really are confident it's going to change the way that our agent partners are able to run these types of events in the future. It's still in the works, so there's a couple coming soon notes on what you can kind of expect here. But we've also included this box here, where if you're interested in trying out the beta when this solution becomes available, all you've got to do is let us know that you're interested. And by answering this quick question, we just want to know, are you currently using a virtual tour for your listings? And answer could be yes, answer could be no, no big deal, but all you got to do is click notify me, and you are jumping in line to be part of the beta program when this becomes available. And I wish my time was more, guys, but that's really as simple as it is. There's not much more than that.
Well, Ryan, why don't you hop off your screen share for just a second so we can see your lovely spiky hair. But that's the beauty of it too, right? Right? If it was like, hey guys, and join us tomorrow for a 2-hour session on how to use ListReports Live, right? It would sort of defeat the purpose, right? This is what we've become known for. So, I think what you demonstrated there is great. So, agentpreneurs out there, this is available to you right now. You go to the ListReports Live tab. You've got a link for your guests. You can start your meeting, and that's it. You're good to go. And as Ryan alluded to, we're working on all sorts of really cool stuff, right? So we want to get your branding inside of this. We want to allow you to run a digital open house through this system. We want to allow you to be able to do all of the things that you normally do in your traditional course of business, but to be able to do that virtually, right? So a listing presentation, a buyer consult, keeping somebody updated, educating them on the process. All of these things are part of the grand vision of this. So Ryan, any parting words for our agents?
My parting word is we are just thrilled to be here for you, and we are going to continue to work around the clock to make sure that you have solutions like the one we've just showed you, and many, many more to continue providing you value, making sure you can navigate these kind of uncharted waters as the world continues on as it is.
Amen. And for those of you out there, who are getting to know Ryan here, he's the hardest worker there is. I mean, this guy is passionate, and if anything comes up and it's like, this isn't a great experience for our agents, he's like, no, we're not doing that, right? So he is a huge advocate for each and every one of you, and is super passionate. So Ryan, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the team and everything that's going on, but thanks for taking the agents through that. I appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Randy.
All right. So let's get you back up here, Ajay Shah. Ajay, you are back on screen.
All right.
And that was quick and easy, and that's fantastic. That's the point, isn't it?
It is the point. Listen, we know that a lot of the agents that we work with are not the biggest adopters of technology, right? And that's okay. You bring certain skills to the table. It's our job to make these things as easy and accessible as possible, right? And that's what our team is trying to do every day, right? So that you don't have to be a tech expert in order to use these things. Really just keep it simple. The stuff that you probably already know how to use a browser, know how to share a link, a couple things like that, and you're off into the races.
No, it's tremendous. Quick shout out to Darlene. Darlene says, looks awesome. Thanks so much. That's fantastic. John says, and this is a good question, John says, what's the ETA of the open house feature? So what are we thinking about here in terms of timing for the digital open house?
The product team always hates when I
asked the wrong guy. Maybe I should bring Ryan back on here. Go ahead, AJ. I do have Ryan. You're back on screen though, so you can roll your eyes here.
So we are testing it right now, but I think next week we're going to see even more people added to that test. And
yes.
All you have to do at this point, actually, as Ryan pointed out, is just go ahead and invite yourself to the beta program. We're going to be rolling this out in stages. So more and more people are going to be added to it so that we can control the quality of the experience. So the best thing you could do, honestly, is just click that button, get in line. And the sooner you do that, the sooner we're going to be able to provide you an experience. But to be honest with you, even as early as next week, we expect to see hundreds of these open houses go live.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And we have another question, which is, will there be a date and time you can send them in the invite? So I know one of the things that we're working on as a fast follow is the ability to actually schedule these meetings. So again, AJ, as you said, this is not even inning one, right? Like we wanted to get the room out there. We want you to get acclimated to this, but they're going to be able to schedule, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So we already have built some of the scheduling functionality for our digital open house experience. So we're going to be moving that into the conferencing experience as well. That's an obvious add to the system. So we're going to be doing that.
That's awesome. Marisol says your products are so user-friendly. Thank you. So Ryan, you can carry that back to the team, AJ, you as well. But Marisol, thank you for that. That's the best compliment you can give us. Honestly, that is the best compliment you can give us. So fantastic. Guys, any parting words for our agentpreneurs here? I know I keep covering parting words, but any parting words you want to say?
I mean, for me, it's really just dive in. This is your time to learn, to try new things, try experiment, with your sphere of influence around video conferencing, with clients around video conferencing. And believe me, not every experience is going to be perfect, but that's the point. Get that out now, learn, try, experiment, see what's comfortable. As we talked about just 3 weeks ago, Randy, you and I were starting this show, your show really, but
show.
This was really just, we didn't want to do this at all, right?
It's not in our comfort zone. You have
to kind of get out of your comfort zone and do it. And I think the results here have been excellent, in terms of being able to share information. So I think just honestly go for it. Dive into the deep end of the pool here. It's not really that dangerous in this case, and give it a shot.
Yes, absolutely. That's great advice. Ryan, what about you? Sorry, go ahead, Aj. Yeah, please.
Give us feedback, whether it's on the Facebook channel or through our customer support channels. We need feedback. We need to know what's working, what's not working, what could be made better. All these ideas. This is how we make the product better. So we really thrive off the feedback, and it can be very constructive. It doesn't have to be all glowing, right? Like we'll take that with the spirit in which it was intended.
Well, just to that point, AJ, whenever we talk to beta testers and user research and all of that, one of the things that I always say is, I said, I'm actually more interested in what you don't like than what you do like, right? So, right. We want your honest feedback. If you think this is a terrible product, please tell us that, right? That's the only way we're going to fix it. If you love it, that's great, but really tell us what we could do better. Ryan, what about you?
What about me? I'm not generally one for one-upsmanship, and AJ asked you guys to dive into this product. I asked you to cannonball into the pool on this
That's
product.
Amazing.
We're so excited about it. It came together so quickly, and we just can't wait hopefully for it to provide you value, and to, again, like Randy mentioned, hear that feedback. And you know what? Throw up your virtual meeting room, get a client in there, pull a list pack up into your virtual meeting room, screen share, just value, just cannonball in there.
Well said. Guys, thank you so much for joining and taking our agentpreneurs through this amazing product. Jeff Santo just threw out some more kudos, so that's fantastic. Thank you, Jeff. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Let's get back to thanks, everybody. All right, so let me switch this back over so it's just me. How cool is that, right? One of the things that we're loving about this time is, as AJ just alluded to, even this show, right? We just threw ourselves out there, right? We just started this thing. We're not marketers by default. Like, this is just not in our blood. And I will tell you from experience now, two things. One is, all of you are a lot better than you think. And two, it gets better with time. And so what a great opportunity to dive in, log into that product right now, and do us a favor if you could. Take this video right now and share it. If you're watching this video right now, just share it. Just click that share button right now and share it to your page, share it to some specific agents. Just click that share button, because that's how we get the word out. That's how we get this stuff out there. Renee, amazing. Renee says, amazing forward thinking with ListReports technology to help our industry keep moving with great professionalism. Can't wait to try. Renee, thank you so much. This is why we do what we do, and one of the best things I will tell you about even doing this show is to see these things coming in real time. It's just, oh man, it's amazing. Okay, so you're going to do that. You're going to share, and you're going to cannonball, as Ryan said, into this product. You're going to give it a shot. It's super easy to use. And then you're also going to do one more thing. You're going to come back tomorrow, and you're going to listen at 11 a.m. Pacific when we have Mark Chili on. Mark is tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. So much to learn from somebody who built a successful brokerage from nothing through an acquisition by Realogy, and he's just fantastic. So that's all we have for today. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a safe, wonderful day. We're halfway through the week. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.